Hey there, I want to give you a quick word about dovetails. I have been holding off on talking about dovetails in videos for a while because when we get into the subject, I want to have all my thoughts really collected on it and say things that I really mean and don't want to have to change it later or amend what I say. I want to try to have all my facts together, all my thoughts gathered, and give you the best presentation I can on it. When I started out in '82, I did carpentry for about 8 years. Then I started, all that time I was making things, but I started to get really serious about furniture and cabinets in about '88. And by '91 I was pretty darn serious about it and making things and selling things. In '91 is when I started cutting my own dovetails. And I actually started out, based on the information I had and what felt good to me, I started out as a pins first kind of cutter. But I've tried it both ways, and I wouldn't say at the moment that I have a total, I'm a total advocate of either method, pins first or tails first. But I will say this, when I started out, this was the jig that I used, and to this day I still have it. Now this is a 6-in-1 jig, and it's nice for soft woods. And over the years, this was my jig for laying out, and it allowed me to mark the tail and the cross cut, or if it was pins, if I did the pins first, I could mark the pin and down the face square. And this was made, and it was so simple, but it was glued together out of 3 pieces of poplar with a screw in it, and everything's flush and even and worked out nice. Not only was this my layout tool, I used to guide my saw with it. Well, in recent times, in the last few years, we've seen these rare earth magnets come out, and they're really nice because they're super duper strong. And so recently I added magnets to it. I don't even use it much anymore, but if I were to use it for 6-in-1, I would pick it up, just set it on there, and like I have the layout done, I would just set it on the right on the line. It sticks my saw, and it helps me start that square cut, which is so critical to the dovetail. The angle isn't all that critical, to be honest with you. It just has to match on the other piece. But getting started square was what this was all about, because this is a 3/4 inch block and a 3/4 inch block, and then the middle block was 3/4. So a lot of times we're working with 3/4 stock. This was naturally conducive. It completely covers the end and makes an excellent starting aid and cutting aid. In fact, in that addition of that magnet just aids in keeping the saw tight to that angle. So like I say, it was mostly a starting aid. You know, I used to use both pull saws and regular saws. I would just clench this there or put a clamp on this and get my hand out of the way and start the saw. And it was a way to get a nice clean start and straight cut. And you'd be surprised then if you use this and you lay out your pins. If you do tails first, you lay out the pins and then use this on the pin starts. Chances are your fit will be tighter than it is freehanding it, unless you're very, practiced and very experienced at it. So I know that this kind of thing's out there and people think it's new, but I got this idea from something I had researched in a book 25 years ago. And it wasn't new then because it was an old person that wrote the book and put the thing in the book. So it's not a new idea, but it's a great idea, and especially for people starting out wanting to cut dovetails, it's a great way to get started with dovetails. Like I say, you can put this on there and clamp the thing with a spring clamp and get your hand out of the way. But I'm just trying to demonstrate how the magnet just grabs the saw, make your cuts. Japanese saw or Western style saw works just fine. The magnets, like I say, a rare earth magnet, but it's just the right amount of stick. So that's a tip I thought I'd show you, and look for more upcoming videos, more about dovetails in the future. Thanks for watching.